Good afternoon, grade 9. Today we're here to continue with our literature autobiography that we started with in the previous week, titled I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I told you previously, grade 9, that this autobiography talks about the life of Maya Angelou, or as she named herself in the autobiography, Margaret. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings book or autobiography was the best known book about Maya Angelou and what happened with her in her childhood. Let me remind you of some important points before we start with answering these questions. I need to remind you, grade 9, that Maya Angelou or Margaret, they are the same, was when she was 8 years old, 8 years old, stay with me. When she was 8 years old, Maya or Margaret stopped speaking. Why? Because she was sexually abused by her a family friend or her mother's. He was both a family friend and her mother's lover or boyfriend called Mr. Freeman. He unfortunately abused her. Then, after that, as a consequence, he was convicted and sentenced, but released from jail. After 4 days of becoming released from the jail, after 4 days, he was found dead in his house or murdered, as you wish, as it stated in Maya Angelou's autobiography. This is the most important thing or the most important idea in this autobiography. Now, me and you are going to answer these important questions. These are not the book questions. Stay with me. These are not the book questions. I wrote these questions for you in order to help you gain deeper understanding of the autobiography if you miss some ideas or etc. As before I start with them, let me remind you of the central characters or the main characters. We have Margaret, her brother, her grandma, and Mrs. Flowers. Now I'll start with Mrs. Flowers, and I need you to understand what is special about Mrs. Flowers. The special thing was that she's teaching Margaret or Maya lessons of life. She also teaches her how to respect herself, how to feel special, how to work on herself, and yani, we can say she was improving her personality. Question number two, what book does Mrs. Flowers have Margaret take home to read? Guys, grade 9, she invited Maya or Margaret to her home, and she served her fresh lemonade, homemade sugar cookies, and handed her a book that was the first lifeline, as Margaret referred to it. It was the first lesson to learn from Mrs. Flowers. Then, question number three, why does Mrs. Flowers encourage or urge Margaret to read to help her become less shy? She helped her to read since she lost her ability to speak. She helped her to become less shy and more comfortable to read in front of her peers, colleagues, friends, and and etc. Number four, why did Maya finally speak at the end of the uh, selection you have, as it stated in the selection that uh, she finally spoke. I remind you, she was abused, then she lost her ability to speak. In consequence, why she lost the ability um, to speak because she thought that her voice had killed a man. Who's this man? Her mother's boyfriend, as it's written here. So she thought her voice had killed her mother's boyfriend, was called Mr. Freeman, the man who abused her. and then was convicted. So she thought that she is responsible for what happened with this man, since he, as I told you in the beginning of the video, since he was found murdered in his house. Uh, so she thought that she was responsible of what happened to him. That's why she lost her ability to speak. And who helped her to speak again? Mrs. Flowers kept on encouraging her, talking with her until she speaks again. Um, Grade 9, I have to tell you, I'm going to answer all of the book exercises or questions or etc. about characterization, questions starting from A. I'll send these questions with the answers, with the number of pages by the Godwell in a study sheet or in a worksheet, so you can study it when we have exams or whenever you need to study them. So as for the answers of the questions, one more time here, questions like these, A, B, C, D, and etc. I'll send the question with the answer in a study sheet. Once I'm done with it, I'll let Ustaz Hazem tell you about it. Thank you very much, grade 9. I hope that everything is clear now. The questions that we discussed in this video are my questions in order to clarify the idea of this autobiography. The book questions or the autobiography questions will be sent during this week as a study sheet. You receive it from Ustaz Hazem. Thank you very much, and I missed all of you guys. Thank you.